Losing it, losing it, losing it, losing it, losing it, losing it. If you got a story, we don't care if it's...
Hi, everybody. I'm Nelsie Spencer, and welcome to Therapy Thursday. I'm here with Heidi Haddad. Hey, Heidi.
Hey, Nelsie.
How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
Nice outfit. I like your outfit.
Thanks.
That's a pretty red T-shirt you got there.
There's still construction going on?
It.
What?
Yeah.
Still got construction going on? How long is that?
I don't know what they're doing down there.
How long does that take?
They must be making magic. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Magic.
I feel like magic is quieter than that. Could be wrong.
You don't know?
We don't know.
You obviously haven't had the right kind of magic.
They're still at it.
That's right.
It's
been like 3 weeks, actually.
Yeah.
Well, New York. They take their time. It's a union, right? They're just taking their time.
Outside of my son's school,
Go
sorry,
ahead.
Well, I'm going to say something more interesting. Obviously.
Well, it's interesting when it starts out with outside my son's school. It's going to be fascinating.
I hope you're sitting down.
Wow.
Nelsie?
Yes, darling.
I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Super blurry today. Super
blurry.
Super blurry. Do you see that, Ronnie?
I do,
the
but it
blurry
doesn't matter.
doesn't matter. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, this is not going to be a good story. It's too much, but now I'm going to have to finish it because you're all on the edge of your seat. There's this construction outside of a school that's been there forever, and which is unfortunate because right outside the school there's a whole, I don't know what the word is called, a very wide sidewalk with benches normally, and they are redoing it. Apparently, I thought they were doing something. Who gives a shit? It's been taking forever, and there's been no action. We'll drive by and say, see anybody out there? Nope, right? Nobody's here doing anything. So I saw someone the other day, and I stopped and I interrupted their conversation, the construction people's conversation, to say, when will this be done? And I don't think he really spoke English, and he was like, soon. And I said, how soon? And he went, that is my... You know what, Ronnie? Delete that story.
That was a great story.
You know what, honey? When you're on Conan, do not open with that. Don't open with that story.
You're dating yourself by the fact that you keep referencing Conan as if Conan's like...
Conan has a show.
Again, delete that, Ronnie. I'm not insulting Conan. Nice man.
No, I love
Conan's
Conan. Great. I'm just saying, don't open with that story when you're on the show. That's all I'm saying. He's not going to... Heidi, I understand you have an interesting story. Heidi, it's so great you're here. Now, I understand...
How about when
I heard there's construction. There's construction going on outside your son's school. Something
really?
happened, right?
Tell me about what happened. Something funny happened, right? Or when I'm on Arsenio Hall, I'll also open with that.
Back in the 90s.
When I'm on
20 years ago.
when I'm on the Jack Parr show.
There you go.
Who predates Carson? All right, God damn it. Let's get to it. Not even back to it.
Ronnie, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
You're also blurry.
It's all right. Don't worry about it. Sometimes he's got to be blurry.
When Heidi's on her deathbed, that's going to be her last line.
You're all blurry.
You're blurry.
You're also blurry.
Okay, so I have some questions.
So we've got some questions from Ronnie this week, which I'm kind of excited about.
So
go baby.
I just have like a bunch of questions about things about what I like, some weird things I just noticed, and I just wonder if there's some sort of deeper meaning mentally behind that.
Okay.
So I just have a bunch of questions and see what you think about them.
Oh, say it, Ronnie.
Okay, so I used to have a roommate, and we used to play Monopoly together. Yeah, it was my roommate. It was my roommate. It was a girl. And she we used to play Monopoly together, and she used to tell me, oh yeah, I used to play Monopoly all the time. I know all the rules, right? And while we would play Monopoly, she would get really, like, she's a very sweet person, like super sweet, right? But then when we play Monopoly, she's very competitive and also very impatient and also very, like if I'm counting with the next boxes, she'll just take it and put it there. That's where it goes. And she's very serious about it. So what's wrong with her?
What the hell is wrong with her? With her impatience and her competitiveness?
I mean, she might have grown up in a world where she needed to be super competitive to survive.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what's her background? Who she have siblings?
She has siblings. She has a brother that's kind of like a deadbeat brother. She grew up in a kind of privileged family, but then their family is very like that show Arrested Development. It's very much that dynamic. So they're very individual and separate lives. But yeah, that's kind of it. And also she works for like in the government in finance.
There you go. Those people who work in finance, forget it.
When we were growing up, and go ahead, Heidi.
No, Nelsie, you go. He asked, what's wrong with her? I think that was directed at me, but go ahead.
Okay, I will. When we used to play Monopoly, my big brother Dick, who went on to be a hedge fund manager and to be the most financially successful, Big Swingin' Dick, as he calls himself on occasion, the most successful financially of the siblings, he was always the banker. And I think that we all discovered along the line that Dick was always cheating. He always wanted Monopoly, and he cheated. Now, and Dick, if I'm wrong, let me know. Yeah, because somebody is the person who, when you play Monopoly, is the banker, and Dick was always the banker, and yeah. So
I can't believe you just explained to us that there's always a banker in Monopoly.
Oh God. What do I put up with? I'm going to need a therapist to deal with you. I'm just going to once a week. I'm just going to go. So this week, Heidi really hurt my feelings because on the podcast, I just was trying to contribute, and then she's always making me feel so bad just because I don't have any letters behind my name, and so just something like that.
You done?
So what's wrong with her?
Thank you, Ronnie.
Let's bring it back. Thank you.
Yeah. What is her issue? Well, no. What I want to know really is. Yeah, go ahead. No. I was just going to say this competitiveness. How does that happen to someone?
Sometimes I think it happens if there's a sibling relationship, just a desire to be. Some of it could be natural, right? Some people are naturally competitive. Some people, I think, grow up in a home where they're constantly being told they need to go get the best. They need to go get you need to get the most money. You need to go get to the best school. You need to find the best friends. You need to, the language around it is best and or even favorite, but that you're striving for the best teacher. We're going to get you the best kindergarten teacher. We're going to get you the best first grade teacher. We're going to get, there's some element of that, which doesn't really happen it doesn't happen as often in the less privileged. Maybe that's not entirely true, but either way, in this case, she was. So we'll just stay focused on that. But
it sounds a lot like her, though. It sounds a lot like
there's language around that, which is a setup, and so therefore you think that there's always something that's better than other things. So you have to win. You're not doing it fast enough. You're not moving around the board fast enough. Let me just do it. And I would offer that having a conversation, saying to your friend, this isn't fun. We're playing a game and I'm not having a good time.
That's a good point.
Might be helpful because I imagine she doesn't realize that that's how she's playing the game. Mm-hmm. And B, if she does realize it and she's wanting something different from you, then maybe that's a conversation the two of you could have or have had in order to figure out whether maybe game playing together wasn't the best choice, because also it's just like that. It's a game. So I appreciate from your perspective, Ronnie, that What's with the rush? Why are you? It's kind of like when I play with my 6-year-old. So, I mean, obviously I'm faster than he is, but yet I have to sometimes remember to slow it down to say, like, right, he needs to count this out.
I'm the 6-year-old in this position, in this scenario.
Yes, exactly. You're the 6-year-old.
Exactly. Except that
She's
it's
the
not, you're
impatient
not,
parent.
but in this case, it's not, and it's not fun. The 6-year-old doesn't enjoy playing with the parent who's like,
exactly.
How do you not know what 2 + 2 is?
No, yeah,
kind of thing.
That's my. I don't work in finance, so I have to count my blocks one at a time. You know what I mean?
No, and it's a game, and you should count your blocks
in
whatever way you feel comfortable counting your blocks. And just because she might be a faster counter or want whatever her story is, the deal is that I would say that it comes from her something historical, and I would offer to you as the friend playing that it's okay for you to say, "Hey, not having fun here." And the very essence of the word Monopoly, game, is something to have fun with. And unless we're putting money on it, real money, which we're not, how about you lighten up a little bit?
Yeah.
And if she says, it's because you don't play well, be like, okay, let's not play this. Maybe there's something else we could do.
Twister.
That would be fun for both of us. Oh,
Twister.
Nelsie wants to get involved. Oh yeah, play Twister. But who knows? I didn't know what you were talking about. Maybe. I love you, Nelsie.
I don't want to play Twister with her.
It's just too late. No. I was just being silly.
With his roommate.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's a good. I think we got it.
Okay.
Let her know you're not having fun. Ask her if she can lighten up.
And also, if she can't, if you say to her, owning it, not like you suck, but just, I'm not enjoying playing this game with you, and because it feels intense, and there's a competition behind it that just doesn't feel light. And she says, it's, this you. Say, okay, hear you. And done. I'm going to wrap up this game. Because really, you're not the 6-year-old in the story. She is. See what's happening.
Okay.
See what happened there?
So I have another one for you. Okay. So I got a friend. He has this thing, and it's really weird. I don't know if it's weird. Maybe I'm just I just don't understand him. But he has this thing where he just can't like poop in public toilets, and he's actually gotten to the point where he's actually like shit himself in public. What's going on there?
Definitely. Nelsie?
Wait, this section is now going to be called What's Going On There?
What's going on there?
This is now officially called What's Going On There? What's Going On There corner. Okay.
See, because if you really can't go to a public bathroom to the point where you shit yourself, there has to be something else going on, right?
Yeah.
First of all, we call it pooping.
Yeah, pooping. Yeah. Defecating on yourself. Either way, it's not
number
pretty.
two. Number two.
Number two is, has there been a therapeutic intervention?
No. Well, that's the thing. I'm like, I get it. Like, who wants to, poop in a public bathroom? But
that part's
I
not
poop on myself. That's what I'm saying.
Right. No, you are right. It's not that it's weird, but that there is something going on that if he's not able to hold it, which I can appreciate, I'm with you. Sometimes using the public restroom, lavatory, if you will, is unpleasant at best.
It's not a first choice.
Not a first choice for a number 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a first choice for a number 1. But there we are. I would offer that there's definitely something historical there and some deep-seated.
Oh.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Deep-seated.
Pretty good.
Thank you. I'm here all week. Tip your wait staff.
Oh my God. Okay. So some deep-seated issues. I don't know exactly what they are. Maybe control issues where he feels out of control, needs to be able to control something in his life doesn't feel, maybe something happened to him in the public I mean, there could be so many reasons why he's so afraid to go in the public restroom and can't hold it to get home that he has an accident. But something's happening in there. I would offer a therapeutic intervention to him, not you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is
something that I would do.
What?
I would intervene.
No.
And be
no.
you need to see somebody here.
Oh, yeah, if it was my friend, I would. Yeah, if it was my friend, I would say, well,
maybe you could get some help around this.
Yeah, you know, there's no. Yeah. This is because I'm assuming he's an adult and not 6 years old.
Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah. So I would offer that there is a way forward, and if he addressed whatever is going on for him historically, that's making it difficult for him to take care of himself in that way. That he should seek outside.
No, isn't there this whole, and I might be going down an old, antiquated road here, but back in the day, Sigmund Freud used to talk about the anal stage and being stuck in the anal stage. Is there anything to that, Heidi, in terms of the anal stage? I don't know enough about it. All I know is that is something that
you just like
Freud
to say
used
anal
to.
Stage?
Freud used to. Yeah, just any opportunity to say anal. I'm going to say no. Freud talked about the different stages of development, and one of them was the anal stage, and I think that has to do with, I don't know, self-satisfaction or something. I don't know if she's the therapist. That's the only reason I'm bringing it up, because it was an anal question.
Right. I think you're right. I was also thinking about Freud at the beginning too. And I think that something happened. That's why I'm saying historical. Something must have happened at some point that he got stuck.
Developmentally, maybe.
Developmentally got stuck or traumatized.
Yeah.
Some sort of trauma happened way back when, and he's still in that stage. And he's stuck in that stage. So he needs to create some movement around that by addressing it directly.
Jeez, every statement has a bad double entendre.
Oh.
You know, he creates a movement around it. I mean, every statement has a double entendre. But yeah, wow. And I mean, it seems so obvious once Heidi said it, but yeah, you could absolutely offer to your friend that he could get some help around this, that there's no reason for him to live this way, and that something happened and he can get help, and the problem can be solved. Not overnight, but, therapy works. Yeah.
Hashtag therapy works.
Hashtag therapy works. Hashtag work your therapy. All right. Ronnie, you got something else? What's wrong?
I don't know if I should ask this question, and we might just cut it out. It's pretty disgusting. Do you want to hear it? Should we do it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I just want.
All right. I told you it was going to be disgusting beforehand, and you said yes. So this is why it's happening. All right.
Okay.
Okay. Threatening us?
Warning. I think it's a warning. It's a warning.
With the explicit warning, with the big E.
Yeah. Trust me. So I have a friend, and I've always known him to be kind of
are you scared?
Sexually charged at a young age. And so one night he told me a story, and he said that he took a frying pan, right? Ejaculated on the frying pan and then cooked it. What's going on there? Why? Do you understand? That's not
enough
normal
information to analyze that.
I mean, exactly, right? To me, I'm like.
Well, that's a normal next question. I'm sorry.
Nelsie, I know. Do you look at Ronnie's reaction to that? That was over the top.
I thought he was making a nice sauce and putting it over a linguine.
I was like, where's he going?
You know what's funny, though?
Where's he going with it?
You know what's funny? He told me the story while I was eating dinner at his house. He told me the story while I was eating dinner at his house, and I asked him, what happened to the pan? because I'm eating food at his house. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm asking what happened to the pan. And
when did it? When? And he said. How does it taste?
No. No, but so he did that, and he didn't eat it. He just threw it away, and he said he was just really curious. But this is also a guy that he's had a lot of experience with prostitutes, and he also like he'll go miles. Like when he meets someone on Tinder, he'll go miles just to meet up with this person for a one night stand. You know, like. You know what I mean? Like, is there something I should intervene here? And is this a problem? You know what I mean?
I just want you to know that right now, as you're talking, I'm smelling garlic, and so, like while I'm visualizing the.
You'll never eat garlic again. You'll never eat garlic again.
I wanted to start with that part of the story because I can tell you how extreme it went. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So he seems to be.
Wait, is there more?
Hypersexualized.
Yeah.
She said, "Is there more?"
Is there more? Well, just in general, that he, like sexually, he's a little charged. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
And
what does that mean?
leads. I mean, like it leads to him doing some out of the ordinary things, like cooking your own semen and stuff like that. Like that was in high school.
What did he discover? That was in high school?
Yeah, he said that it cooked like eggs.
Okay. Just more information than I needed. Really?
I mean, I think it's interesting. You don't think that's interesting?
Well, yeah.
Did he use oil in the pan?
Okay,
can we
get back? I would like to get. This is not Top Chef, okay, or Chopped. No. I think Ronnie has asked a legitimate question. What's up with that?
I think it's actually interesting. I think it's fascinating.
I think what he's telling us is this guy is hypersexual and sounds like he might be a little sexually compulsive. And what do you think the origins of that might be?
And what can I do as my role as a friend?
Oh, good question.
Why? Is there a problem?
I'm sorry?
Is there? What do you want to do?
Is there a problem?
What do you want to do?
And should I, as a friend, like do something and help him somehow?
How do you think it is a problem?
I just don't think you should be cooking your own, semen. Like
you said, he did that in high school, though.
Yeah, but he still defends it.
No, but defends what? I've done things.
But he's not that much older.
Like, I can't believe I did that in high school. I should regret it.
But here's the question:
I'm missing it.
Does he seem to be happy, Ronnie, or do you think that this sexual compulsion sort of runs his life in a way that doesn't seem help? That he's unhappy. I guess that's the question.
Excellent.
He's not at all proud of it. He's not at all proud of it. It's a secret life of his that only his real close friends know about. And it's hard to say whether he's happy or not. I can't really tell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's not like super excited to tell me that he's done something like this the night. Like, let's say I see him one day and he'll tell me about it, that he did it the night before. And it's not like, he's super excited to tell me.
It's more confessional. It's more confessional.
Yeah, I guess so. Like he would go out of his way. Like in high school, the prostitution thing started in high school, right? That's how far back it's gone, right? And he used to steal his dad's car at like 3 a.m. just to drive over to do this, right? That's really, that's a lot of effort.
What is his relationship like with his parents?
It's him and his father. It's very rocky, right? It's a very rocky relationship. His father is a bit of an alcoholic. And he's retired. So he spends a lot of his time, enjoying himself, you could say. And they don't have a very good relationship.
That's code
together.
for drinking.
Yeah, enjoying himself. Imbibing liquid things.
Yeah. I mean, but his father is also in that similar, he does the same things.
Oh, okay.
Well.
So it's kind of like he's taking it, right? But
oh, God.
I mean, that's what he's learned. That's what you're saying. This is a learned behavior.
Yeah.
Right? His father's doing it, so therefore he's doing it. He thinks this is an acceptable way forward.
Yeah.
or not acceptable, but this is what he knows and this is what he's taught. And how is his alcoholic father communicating with him about sex and relationships or women? It's women, right?
Yeah. It's women. Yeah.
I mean, how is dad talking about it, or has he always talked about it? And
I'd say it's pretty. I'd say, look, the context wise, the dad's an old school guy from the Navy.
Knew it. I knew there was going to be a military background. Boom.
Really?
Yes.
Well, he's not.
I was waiting for it when you're like, he's retired. I was waiting for he was in the.
Yeah. He's not exactly the most respectful towards women, you could say. Especially the way.
Yes, also not unexpected. Yes.
Well, it feels like it goes back to sort of the. I mean, the question is it what can you do to help him? And I guess the question is, or should you mention it? And I don't know, Heidi, don't you think it goes back to, does this guy want help? Is he looking for help? Is he, right?
Sorry, just want to add one more thing. His relationship, with women, as let's say he's interested or attracted with a girl, he's very closed off, very shy. He doesn't know how to socially interact with women unless he's drunk or it's a prostitute. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But in a regular, let's say it's just a regular, right. Any other scenario, it
totally makes sense. It's safe. He's buying it. He's buying sex. Or he's in a situation where he's just having sex versus he likes someone and he's getting to know them. It totally makes sense. Where's mom in the story? Is there a mom?
There is a mom. Yeah. And I mean, the mom is totally fine. They have a great relationship. It's also the mom and the father.
And are mom and dad still together? They're still together, mom and dad?
They're still together, but it's not the greatest marriage.
I mean, how could it be if dad's an alcoholic?
Yeah. You have a husband who's not present, basically.
Well, also you have a husband who's an alcoholic and seeking out sex outside the relationship, buying sex outside the relationship, no less. I mean, even if it was, it would be different, I think, if he was in a relationship with someone outside, having an affair with someone.
Yeah.
So, as far as I'm concerned, we've kind of wrapped this up in a tidy bow of. This is where he comes from in his family. He's coming from a family that didn't offer. I'm going to guess his father. He has a contentious relationship with his father, contentious relationship with his father, who doesn't have a lot of respect for women, seemingly, and engages in extramarital relations, but specifically with. Prostitutes, sex workers, thank you. Sex workers. And so that's what he's learned, right? There's a definite learned behavior. And also, if his father didn't engage with him in a confidence boosting kind of way, and he doesn't feel good about himself because of that dynamic and how he was raised, then it would be difficult for him to approach women as if they are like him and he can just talk to another human versus seeing them as other and scary beings. Yeah. Except for mom. And I guess, the relationship between mom and dad is as his model. I mean, there's a lot to unpack there, I would imagine.
Yeah. And so, it seems to all go back to, if you have a friend and you love them and you feel concern, it's sort of like, is there... If and when there's an opening to say, there's an alternative, you could get help for this. But, therapy isn't necessarily for people who need it. It's for people who want it, and I didn't make that up, but it's a good one, right? Because there's plenty of people out there who need therapy that don't want it or don't think they need it or aren't interested, or it's too scary to be that vulnerable. It's too scary. How I'm doing it now, it's not great, but it's all I can do. And the idea of unpacking it is much worse than what they're dealing with. And I have some very close friends that's what it's like for them. And they'd much rather live in their little sort of controlled, maybe dysfunctional bubble than have to look deep some perceived pain that they think they'll have to uncover, or some level of vulnerability.
And people don't say it like that as much as they just say, I'm fine as it is.
I'm fine,
And they don't realize that they aren't capable of looking deeper. And that's just where they're at that point. So while we externally can look at them and say, there might be some work there. That's a great story until they decide that there's some work that they could do for themselves.
Yeah.
So I agree with Nelsie. You could circle to him and say, just do a check-in of, I noticed that, hey buddy, I noticed that when you have to engage with women in a real dynamic, that's challenging for you. And I noticed that you don't seem super happy when you're telling me about these adventures you go on for sexual adventures. I wonder if you thought about talking to someone about this stuff.
Even sometimes when he does, talk about it, it sounds like, it's given him confidence, and obviously, like that's not right. My question is, let's say he listens to this podcast and he wants to
call me.
Yeah, exactly. So he wants to change. What is the first step? So the first step would be, find a therapist, or what would it be? That be it?
Go on psychologytoday.com. Look for a therapist depending on your financial situation or insurance situation and what you're looking for, and see if you can find somebody that connects with you. He can also call me and I can make some referrals. Depends what he's looking for. And meaning that, does he want to see a man? Does he want to see a woman? Does he not care? And then the financial piece too. Does he need insurance? Does he need to use insurance or not? Or
And I would venture to say that it sounds like he's got some sexual compulsion, and there's actually 12-step programs. There are support groups for people who have sexual compulsion that are completely free. And if you were to go online and look for Sexually Compulsive Anonymous, or there are groups where, because look, somebody becoming hypersexual and their sexuality driving them, that happens. It happens to a lot of different people and for a lot of different reasons. I know I'm not a therapist, but I'm just saying that's also a way. And now, when these things are on Zoom, you can be really anonymous and be in a group hearing people talk about similar things. Just a thought.
I think, Nelsie, it's a good point, and I would offer that I don't know that he has a compulsion yet, as much as that's how he has explored his sexuality. And yes, to Ronnie's point, he's gone to extreme efforts to get to those adventures. However, I would still want to know what was driving that to begin with. Was there an external motivation, meaning dad was like, you got to get out, for example, like, you got to get out there and do it. Doesn't matter. You just get in the car and drive. Let's say that was actually said to him. Then he just did it. Not because he felt this compulsion, but because that's what he was taught is how you do it. Or I don't know what so if he were in my office, I'd be having a conversation to unpack a little bit more to understand, and then say, hey, that, there are support groups that you can utilize if that's
right.
So I don't know that it's a compulsion yet based on what Ronnie's given us versus just, where he comes from and what we know that his dad does this. So that doesn't make it a compulsion. It makes it a learned behavior on a super minimal level.
Right.
And I think that, coupled with his insecurity about approaching women in a bar and being able to have a conversation without it being a financial
exchange. Financial
exchange works.
Relationship.
Interaction.
Thank you.
Transaction.
That's the
word. Thank you. All of the above, we get the point. That he obviously feels safer and more comfortable in that environment. But he also grew up in that environment. You're saying he was doing it since high school. The fact that he ejaculated into a frying pan and to cook it up.
Yeah, so does that make him like a psychopath, or what is that? No, it's totally fine.
I'm not judging it. It's an interesting, actually it's fast. I mean, he kind of might have just been curious. Like who knows what was said to him that was even in his head that he wondered what it would be like to cook up your cum. Yeah. It's not something that has ever occurred to me, but that doesn't mean,
look, I've managed to make it 6+ decades into my life and never heard anybody doing this. But you know what? He's got a wild imagination.
Yeah, it doesn't have to mean anything. And it was in high school. If you were telling me that he's doing it regularly, still wouldn't call him a psychopath. I would say, that's interesting. What's that about? And I just don't, me and Nelsie don't have enough information, and maybe you don't either, Ronnie, or we're just not getting into the depths of his stuff. However, none of this is pathological. It's more curious. He's not hurting anybody from what you're saying. So it's not a lack of empathy. It's not right. None of that's happening.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
and I think psychopaths are generally, it's a huge lack of empathy. Isn't that one of the?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
I see.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah. So, those were some good ones, Ronnie.
I have a bunch more, but we can save those.
Next week, we got them, guys. We got them. So we have a new. I can't remember what I called it now. I can't remember what the title of our new section is. What's up with that? But I don't think it's what's up with that. Ronnie will find it.
What's up
Rewind.
Yeah. So that was fascinating, I have to say. So you guys know where you can reach us. You can email us at losingitcontact@gmail.com. You can DM us at Instagram, Losing It Podcast. You can reach Heidi on Twitter at Heidi L. Haddad or Head and Heart Therapy. And you can, if you're watching us on YouTube, first of all, subscribe, rate, and review wherever you can. And if you're watching us on YouTube, you can actually ask a question in the comments down there. I'm not going to say the word that Heidi wants me to say. And that's it, guys.
You can say vagina.
I can say vagina, but I chose not to because I'm mature, and that's not what this podcast is about.
Are you trying to say the word vagina is immature?
No.
What are you saying?
Okay.
Put the hoodie
all
on.
I am going to say is
you're blurry.
Don't be blurry.
What you were going to say.
Don't be blurry. Be kind to yourself and others, and see you next week. Bye.
Losing it, losing it, losing it, losing it, losing it, losing it, losing it. You came and you listened to the story. I hope so much that it didn't make you sorry, and I hope so much that you'll come back again.
Losing It, hosted by Nelsie Spencer, produced by me, Ronnie Whaley. Theme song by Hunter Williams. Follow us online on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and all podcasting platforms at Losing It Podcast. Viewers can email Nelsie with questions or comments about life, writing, comedy, or even your own Losing It story for a chance to be on the Losing It Podcast at losingitcontact@gmail.com. For everything Nelsie and everything Losing It, visit us at nelsiespencer.com.